Captain Harv. How likely is it I'll hit a bird when I'm flying? And what do I do if it happens? Birds, the scourge of the skies. Those little winged menaces don't respect any of the published federal aviation regs. And what's worse is that bird strikes are on the rise. In fact, unwanted collisions with all kinds of wildlife are becoming more frequent. And for those of you wanting those collisions, you may look elsewhere, you sick freaks. According to a report released by the FAA in February 2021, wildlife strikes jumped by 6% between 2018 and 2019. And it's probably getting worse. How can we be so sure? The FAA actually has a national wildlife strike database where they keep track of this sort of thing in an effort to manage safety for pilots, as well as those wretched avians who are causing these problems in the first place. All birds are jerks. Think I'm wrong? Well, David Attenborough knows. So how likely is it that such an event will happen to you? Many factors factor into your bird strike probability factor. For example, if you're flying along a migratory route during migration season, your chances are obviously higher. If you're flying over the ocean at 12,000 feet and the closest land is 100 miles away, you can rest a little easier. The good news is that given the number of bird strikes versus the number of flight hours logged in the United States each day, bird strikes are actually pretty rare. But with instances of sparrow versus skyhawk on the rise, you still need to know what you should do if a bird strike occurs. First, fly the plane. Depending on where the bird strike occurs on your aircraft, the incident could range from being a minor nuisance to a Captain Sully level emergency. For instance, if a tufted titmouse glances your fuselage, the only evidence of the encounter may be your relieved reaction that it wasn't worse. But if a fatted goose lumbering through the sky engages the leading edge of your wing with the force of a frozen chicken being fired from a cannon, you could find yourself struggling to maintain control as you find a suitable place to land, not to mention a deep fat fryer to cook up that newly cleaned Thanksgiving feast. Don't forget the cranberry relish, and not that garbage from a can, the real thing. Look, these things happen. While 99% of the time these denizens of the sky make way for me, I too have had a harrowing bird strike experience. Sadly, the FAA didn't find it worthy of entry into the bird strike database. Technically, it was a bird I hit. I was landing at a wildlife preserve, I was 10 feet above the dirt strip, and it turns out ostriches are really tall. If it's safe to do so, get on frequency to let ATC know that you've had a bird versus airplane encounter, your condition, the size and number of birds you noticed, and your location, so they can warn other pilots. Also, let airport management know if it happened near an airport. It's your duty to do so under Part 139. Once you make it safely back on the ground, you should fill out the FAA Wildlife Strike Report, which is Appendix 1 in the Aeronautical Information Manual. If the bird survived, they should probably fill out a NASA report as they were clearly in the wrong. Also, the FAA would greatly appreciate your further assistance in identifying the bird species. Simply scrape a representative sample of Snarge from the skin of your aircraft. Snarge is the scientific term for the goo that used to be a bird. Put it in a plastic bag of some form, seal it well, and mail it to the Smithsonian Institution Feather Lab for morphological and DNA analysis. Then you'll find out that it was, in fact, a cerulean warbler migrating at nighttime that threatened your precious airplane, and not the tufted titmouse you had hoped. Because then you would have an excuse to say titmouse while regaling your friends and family with your thoroughly exaggerated story. Until next time, this is Captain Harv, wishing you bird-free skies.
Titmouse. 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 Titmouse.
You said mouse.